making international phone calls, watching adult material, and returning to North Korea after defection.
Chat, you can't goon, chat. You cannot goon. You cannot watch adult material in North Korea. Chat, so basically, if you're a gooner, chat, you're gonna get freaking executed. Death row. What death row looks like around the world. Let's get it. Let's go.
This may shock you. 55 countries around the world still practice the death penalty, but they are dramatically different. From Japan's death row that drives inmates insane, to Saudi Arabia's death row that has a dark, evil twist.
What the heck?
The first country we have to look at is the USA. The USA
Okay, the US. Let's see what the US has in store for us.
But surprisingly, it's not even in the top 10. Around 20 people are sentenced to death row every year in the USA.
Wait,
in
what
many
the hell?
states, death row is illegal, and some states don't practice it despite never actually outlawing it. But these 11 states do actively carry out death sentences.
What the fudge? So wait, some states are legal, some states they don't really practice it, and some states they actually do it.
Inmates will get these sentences for various crimes, most commonly homicide-related crimes, but also espionage, treason, as well as extreme cases of narcotics trafficking. USA death penalty methods vary state by state, but there are 5 methods used in the USA. These are lethal injection, electric chair, firing squad, gas chamber, and gas asphyxiation. But what actually happens to an inmate on death row in the USA? 24 hours before they will be taken from their cells and moved to what is cheerfully known as the death house. As they enter the death house, this will be the last time the inmate will ever be outside. They will then be given a full body search and given new clothing. They will then be taken to their new and last cell.
My favorite is the electric chair. Wait.
The death watch cell. There, the inmate will spend their final night. Some inmates choose to sleep, but others can't, knowing what's coming. At the 15-hour mark, they will be woken up. They will then shower and be given a regular prison breakfast. At the 14-hour mark, they will be allowed to see their friends and family for one last time. They will also get 45 minutes to make any final phone calls. At the 12-hour mark, all visitations will be cut off. The inmate will then be given a regular prison lunch, and are then allowed to see a priest or imam. Inmates carry many regrets and secrets, and this gives them one last chance to confess and have a clear mind. At the 8-hour mark, the inmate will be allowed to see their last sunset. The inmate will then be allowed to write letters for 1 hour, writing their final goodbyes to friends and family. At the 6-hour mark, the inmate will order their last meal. Despite what many think, they can't order whatever they want, instead having to stick to a $30 budget.
A $30 budget? I thought in death row you can have whatever you want, chat. $30 budget, that's ass.
Today's prices isn't that much. If the inmates are being executed with an electric chair, they will then have their heads shaved. This is to prevent their hair catching on fire. The inmate will then take their last ever shower and then eat their last meal. At the 3-hour mark, witnesses arrive. These are the people who are going to watch the execution happen. They're normally relatives of the victim, but sometimes the inmate's family comes too. At the 1-hour mark, the inmate will be walked to what's known as the death chamber, escorted by a team of 5 guards. The inmate will then be strapped to a chair or bed. At the 12-minute mark, the witnesses will be moved into the watching room. The curtains will then be undrawn. The window is one way, meaning the inmate never sees the people watching him. At the 10-minute mark, the inmate gets to say their last words. The inmate will then get one final visit from a priest or imam if they wish, and after that, the execution will take place. There are currently 2,500 people on death row in the United States. It often takes decades for these executions to be carried out, because inmates are entitled to many appeals. But it wasn't always like this. The USA once executed a 14-year-old boy. George Steiny was accused of taking 2 girls' lives.
They killed a 14-year-old boy? Nah, that's crazy. If you're on death row, you did something unforgivable, now for real. But like, still, whatever you've done, you don't you don't have the right. You don't have the right to, I guess, judge like kill someone. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the right to give death row. Like, you know what I'm saying? They could just stay in jail. How about they stay in jail forever then? You know what I'm saying? Violence is not the answer, guys. Violence is not the answer.
He was too small to sit on the electric chair, so had to sit on top of a Bible. But since 2005, you now need to be over 18 to be given a death sentence in the USA. America's death row may sound harsh, but I can assure you, it's nothing compared to Saudi Arabia's.
That's what I'm saying. I think like no matter what we've done, even if you killed people, right? Obviously that's bad, that's a no-no. You know what I'm saying? Obviously that's crazy. But I'm saying like, you don't have the obligation, you don't have it. You know, you can't just choose someone like, to kill whoever you want, you know what I'm saying? Like, who are you to do that? Killing people is a no-no. Don't do that, okay? That's a no-no. Just don't kill people, chat. Don't kill people! Killing people is bad. Don't kill people. But let's say they killed your family. That's a good question.
Arabia ends many people's
Saudi
lives
Arabia time!
with an average
Let's see what
of
Saudi
over
Arabia does.
185 executions every year. In Saudi Arabia, people get death sentences for minor crimes, including burglary, treason, espionage, and narcotics.
Holy crap, do you hear that, chat? In Saudi, chat, Saudi's different. Even for minor crimes like burglary, you can get death sentence. Bang!
And you can also be given a death sentence for leaving Islam, as well as cheating on your wife or husband, or having a same-gender relationship.
Leaving Islam, I don't know about that. Leaving Islam, I think that's real now. I think some of that is real, actually, matter of fact. Back in the days, but I don't know about now. Having a same-sex relationship, yeah, probably. As you see, Saudi are crazy. They punish you for minor crimes. It's crazy, man. I don't know, bro.
Saudi Arabia has 3 execution methods, and they're all wild. The first is firing squad. The second is stoning. This is where someone is buried up to their head in sand. Stones are then thrown at them until they lose their life. And the most common method is beheading. This
beheading, chat, no!
A large curved sword. Afterwards, bodies are often put on public display to scare everyone else into not committing the same crime.
It's actually crazy.
Unlike in the USA, Saudi Arabia dish out executions very fast. But while they wait, they're normally kept in this prison, named Al.
This has to be haram. Yes, this is haram. This is haram. This is haram. What they're doing, bro. They should not be killing anyone, regardless of what they've done. It's a crazy past, man.
Inmates are often kept in isolation cells
guys.
and are subjected to physical and psychological hell. Inmates are often not allowed to contact their families. Executions normally happen within the same year someone is sentenced to death row. Another country with a surprisingly nasty death row is Japan.
Japan time. By the way, listen, Islam does not teach this. These people, some of these Muslims, right? They're extremists and they take things to the extreme, and sometimes they do crazy stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? They just take it to the extreme. They bend the words to the point where it's just so bent. Anyway. Japan time, chat, Japan.
Aside from the USA, Japan is the only democratic country that still has death row, with an average of 5 executions per year. There are only 3 crimes you can commit to get the death penalty: homicide, treason, and crimes against the state. Normally, you need to end multiple lives to be sentenced to death row. In most countries, inmates on death row are told when they're going to lose their lives far in advance, but not in Japan. Instead, inmates are only told 1 or 2 hours before the execution, meaning that they have no idea when will be their last day.
That is crazy!
It could be years
There's a
from
randomly
now,
just drag
or
you.
it could be in 2 hours. This sometimes makes inmates go insane.
No,
to
that's
make matters
crazy.
worse, the inmate's family is only told after they've been executed, meaning that they have no chance to say goodbye. While the inmates are on death row, they're kept in very strict prisons, said to be the strictest in the world. They're told exactly how to sit in their cells. They have to always look down at the floor and can never look up. They're also not allowed to speak unless spoken to, and they have to work for over 13 hours per day. But a country with an even worse death row is China. China executes most people per year, averaging at over 1,000 executions every year. In China, you can be given the death penalty for many crimes, including serious fraud, bombing, flooding, rioting, separatism, rebellion, political dissent, subversion, sneaking people into China, piracy, corruption, aircraft hijacking, espionage, abandoning the military, endangering national security, and many other crimes.
Yo, China has so much stuff you can get freaking done for, bro. To get the death row. What the hell?
No matter how rich or powerful you are, you can be given a death sentence. In 2022, high-up politician Fu Zhonghua was sentenced to death row after taking nearly $17 million in bribes. And in 2014, billionaire businessman Liu Han was also given a death sentence, being executed 1 year later in 2015. These executions are carried out using either a firing squad or lethal injection. While inmates wait for their execution date, they will be in a Chinese prison, which are known for their very harsh conditions. Inmates sometimes have to work for 16 hours per day. They will also have their heads shaved and have to look down at the ground at all times. But a country with even worse death row conditions is Somalia.
Somalia time, y'all!
It's one of the most dangerous countries in the world. It is the only African country that carries out public executions. These are done either by hanging, firing squad, or stoning. Somalia executes an average of 13 people per year. These sentences are given out for homicide, treason, espionage, and abandoning the military. But you can also get a death sentence for leaving Islam, blasphemy, cheating on your husband or wife, and having a same-gender relationship.
Hey, yo,
While
what,
inmates await
bro?
their execution date, they will
Look like you, bro. Shut your ass up here, baby.
be kept in one of
Shut your ass up,
Somalia's
boy.
worst jails, which are known to be very overcrowded and dirty. Death row inmates are normally sent to Mandera prison, said to be Somalia's worst prison. But some would say death row in Belarus is even worse. Belarus is the only country in Europe to still use capital punishment. You can be sent to death row for crimes such as treason, sabotage, and conspiracy to seize power. This is because Belarus is Europe's last dictatorship. While inmates wait for their execution, they will be sent to Belarus's worst prison, which is famous for housing political prisoners. Belarus executes an average of 2 people per year, but a country known for
that's not that bad, to be fair.
executing far more
next one?
people is Indonesia.
Indonesia!
In 2005, Indonesia hit the headlines. This was after 9 Australians were arrested. They were attempting to smuggle narcotics. 6 of them were sentenced to life in prison, but 2 were sent to death row, and in 2015 were executed by firing squad. This caused massive outrage, but many executions still take place in Indonesia, normally for narcotics and piracy. Another country with a surprisingly harsh death row is India. In India, you can be sent to death row for homicide, narcotics, aircraft hijacking, espionage, kidnapping, abandoning the military, and even partaking in human sacrifice. In 2023, India gave out 120 death sentences. These are always done by either hanging or firing squad. Death row inmates are kept in awful prisons. Indian prisons are famous for overcrowding, having over 25.
Being a spy apparently is bad. A spy, I guess so, but like, I don't know what type of spy though. If it's like, maybe like, I don't know, feeding information to other countries or maybe like that are not like, I guess not like, part of the same kind of agreement. agreement to like, they're not affiliated. Yeah, they're not affiliated basically. I don't know what's going on in India, bro. There's some mad stuff going on in India, gang, apparently.
The cells are very crowded, dark and dirty, and inmates are only told their execution date a few days before it happens. But one country you won't be surprised has a terrible death row is North Korea. North Korea, just about
North Korea, chat. I'm explaining the maddest stuff from North Korea. Let's see, bro.
Anything can land you on death row. This includes plots against the nation, working with enemy countries, circulating harmful information, political dissidents, visiting foreign websites, watching foreign movies or TV shows.
You can get death row in North Korea for watching foreign movies and websites. Did I hear that correct? Did I hear that correct? What the hell is wrong with this backwards country? North Korea, what is wrong with your asses? Holy crap.
Listening to foreign radio, inappropriate words, making international phone calls, watching adult material, and returning to North Korea after defection.
Chat, you can't goon, chat. You cannot goon. You cannot watch adult material in North Korea. What the hell? If you do watch that, you'll get... Chat, so basically, if you're a gooner, chat, you're gonna get freaking executed. Death row. I'm not a gooner, man, man.
North Korean officials have been given a death sentence, including Kim Jong-un's own uncle. The methods used are firing squad, hanging, beheading, and even being shot with a missile. Some of these executions are done in public.
Hell, waiting for the worst people for Ruzi's.
In 2022, a 22-year-old man was publicly executed for listening to K-pop. While North Korean inmates are on death row, they are sent to a labor camp. This is where they have to do back-breaking work for sometimes 20 hours per day. Many lose their lives in these camps, but if they survive, they will later be executed by the guards. And to make matters worse, their entire family will be sent to the camps as well.
Bro, North Korea is so freaking like, oh my days, bro. Forcing you to work for them, even though you know you're gonna get executed, they force you to do work for them. What the fudge? No, that is crazy, bro. Beyond your human rights to do things that you don't want to do, and they'll kill you.
To ensure no one
don't
ever
disrespect the
tries
supreme
to take
leader,
power from Kim Jong-un.
Hey,
North Korea executes an average of 150 people per year. Another country famous for its death row is Egypt. Egypt executes an average of 30 people per year. This is done by either firing squad or hanging. While they wait for their last day, people on death row in Egypt are sent to very bad prisons, known for overcrowding and harsh conditions. Another country with a famously bad death row is the United Arab
Egypt wasn't that bad. They didn't really say much.
Emirates. This surprises many people as it's a popular tourist destination. But beyond the glitz and glamour of Dubai are some truly awful prisons. This is where death
Shout out Habibi, UAE. Shout out Habibi. I knew it.
Mates are kept. You can be given a death sentence for various crimes, including the disposal of nuclear waste and leaving Islam. Executions are carried out by firing squad. Which of the
leaving Islam? Called what? Disposing nuclear waste. That video is cap. There's so much non-Muslims in the UAE. What the fudge? What are these guys talking about? They should, but not like that. Yeah, I'm saying, bro. Like, what the hell, bro? That was the video, chat. Which one is the worst? I'm gonna say, chat, I'll say Saudi in terms of punishments, but North Korea with the stuff that you can do to die. You know what I'm saying? To go on death row, which is crazy. Chat, make sure you join the Twitch right now, twitch.tv/30Ruzi. Join the Discord as well, discord.gg/Ruzi. Join it, join everything, join up, chat. We're getting lit, we're getting crazy. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next reaction video in the freaking bizzle, y'all.